What?
What?
What the hell is this?
Harumph. I didn't get a harumph out of that guy.
Give the governor harumph.
Harumph!
You watch your ass.
I see you shiver with anticipation.
Let the show begin.
Hey everybody, this is David Heretic coming at you with another edition of Reactions, Reviews, and Rants. And tonight... Okay, making their debut on the channel tonight. We have D-Drive. Yes, indeed. How about that? D-Drive making their debut on the channel. Before we go any further, for those of you who are feeling inclined to doing all the clicks and the likes and the bibbity-boobity-bob, do me a favor. Before you do all those things, please watch the whole video first, okay? Give me a chance to actually earn those clicks and likes. Now, after the video's done, if you still feel like doing all those clicks and likes, then by all means, feel free to click away. This comes as a request from Aaron T. Rocks, and Aaron T. Rocks wanted to see me react to this song by D-Drive called Unkind Rain. Now, have I heard the song before? No, I have not. To the best of my knowledge, this does not resonate with me in any way, shape, or form. However, there's always a possibility I may have heard the song in passing and I just don't realize it. So as always, if I start listening to the song and I suddenly go, wait a second, time out, I recognize this song, I'll let you know.
That's the truth.
You know me, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. This was posted by D-Drive, okay? And the video has 15,968 views. It'll get you there. You're gonna probably notice that something looks a little different about this video than what you normally see from me. You're gonna see that I'm not using my ultimate ears. My IEMs are not gonna be in my ears. Reason is because I shipped them back to the factory. In fact, I shipped them back to Ultimate Ears. They're going in for a servicing, a very deep cleaning, and sterilizing, and they're gonna be tuning up the drivers, tuning up the electronics inside. So they're gonna come back sounding even better than ever. That's the plan. So yeah, it's been a while, folks. It's been almost a year since I've last done it, so they need to go in and they need to be serviced. So, unfortunately, however, that means they're going to be gone for about a month, and that means I've got to use these. Oh boy, jeez. So yeah, I'm going to be using headphones. Now, look, these are fine headphones. Don't get me wrong. These are great headphones, and I know they work really well, and I got no problem with them. I'm letting you know that I do miss my inner monitors. I really do. And if something looks weird about the video, well, this is your spoiler. This is the difference maker right here. Other than that, there's really nothing else left to say. Link to the original video will be down below in the video description for your viewing pleasure at your leisure. Let's get started. What do you say? Ready? Are you ready? Because here we go. All right, here we go. Unkind Rain, D-Drive, Studio MV. Cool. All right, let's do this.
All right, boy, let's do this.
Okay. I've seen and heard all I need to hear and see. So this is not live, okay? What you're hearing is not them playing live. Reason I can say that, and I know for a fact it's not live, this guy started doing the harmonizing line playing on the guitar, right? But yet you could still hear what's being played, what he was originally playing. So this is studio. You know, this is just post-production. Not a big deal. But I want people to understand and understand this point that don't be deceived by what you see and think for 1 second that what you're hearing is what you're seeing, because it's not. It's not. It's absolutely not. Having said that, what I am hearing sounds really good. The intro with this guy doing that little light guitar work, kind of. I know people are going to say I'm crazy for this, but kind of Steely Dan-ish a little bit. A little, not a lot, but it definitely had a little bit of a feel, especially when you hear the ride come in on the cymbals and the bass work, the bass melodic line. I was really kind of getting a Steely Dan vibe. Then she came in and that disappeared. Absolutely disappeared. Then it got heavy. It got really nice at that point. It's a very pleasing to the ear song. Everything melodically and chordally is flowing really nicely together, meshing really well together. Kind of a laid back feel to it. I can dig it. Let's keep going here. Up on the neck, getting that nice soft attack. Nice. I know who he reminds me of. Ooh. Wait a second. Hold on. Let's back up a little bit. Let's see that again, shall we? I mean, not see it. Seeing doesn't matter. Hearing it. Let's hear that again. That dual harmonized solo link right there. I mean, I wouldn't call it a solo, but a solo lick. Harmonized. Yeah, I would definitely call it that. Really nice. Tasteful use of the whammy bar there. Very tasteful use of the whammy bar toward the end. I like the two guitar players' contrasting styles. Her approach to her guitar playing, she kind of reminds me a little bit of Steve Vai. ever so slightly. Kind of have that, the speed in the fingers, the lightness in the fingers on the left hand. Really kind of reminds me of Steve Vai. Her attacks, her approach, very Steve Vai-ish. The other guy, on the other hand, he reminds me more of Gary Hoy. Especially with the whammy pedal, not the whammy pedal, the wah pedal. The wah pedal usage on the soloing, just the constant wah pedal. Not that that's a complaint, that's actually a compliment. Very tasteful use of that wah pedal throughout his solo. Very, very, very Gary Hoy-ish. Gary Hoy loves using a wah pedal, man, he really does. But very fluid in his playing still. When you heard them play together, it really came together nice, and you could hear it. What was funny is when you heard them playing together, you really heard those comparisons stand out when they were playing in unison. Well, not unison, but they were playing in harmonies, but they were playing harmonic lines together. You really heard their styles stand out when they did that. Yeah, man, good stuff. Really good stuff. I'm digging what I'm hearing. I'm digging that laid back feel more than anything. It's got a good groove. Got to give a shout out to the bass player when I saw him in the video coming up and playing up on the neck. Now, granted, it's a music video. I don't know if that's what he really did when they were recording the song in studio. Remember, what you're hearing is not what you're seeing. This is a music video, okay? But I think he was doing in the video what he did do in studio, playing up on the neck to kind of give it those softer attacks. Very similar to like an upright bass, a nice smooth, nice soft attack as opposed to a more percussive attack when you're plucking the strings right above the pickups. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's a completely different sound. I do the same thing when I'm playing songs that require a softer touch. I'll play up on the neck a little bit sometimes. Absolutely, depending on how soft I have to get. It depends on what the song calls for. So kudos to him. Let's keep going here. Now we're getting that percussiveness. The drummer. Just furthering my argument that what you're hearing is not what you're seeing. You hear a guitar player playing chords, right? And yet both guitar players are playing harmonic lines. So, yeah. I mean, it just goes to further show that this is a music video, not a live performance. Are they playing live while they're shooting the video? It's more than likely, yes. But what you're hearing is not what they are playing in this room. What you're hearing is overlaid on top of the video. That's all I'm saying. So, are they playing this live in studio while they're filming? Yeah, I believe that wholeheartedly. Just a shame that's not what we're hearing. But I get it. It's a music video. It's supposed to sound full, you know? So, remember, music videos, guys, music videos, they are meant for one reason and one reason only. They are a marketing tool. They are used to promote bands, promote songs, and help generate record sales. That's the whole purpose of music videos. So please keep that in mind. I know a lot of people are like, no, what you're hearing is what they're really playing live. They're not, okay. They're playing live, yes, but what you're hearing is studio that has been overlaid on top of the video or under the video, depending on how you look at it. Anyway, let's keep going here. Bum, 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 bum. And coming down after those accented hits. Nice. Back to the original riff, that Steely Dan riff. With that light chorus. like it. I like it. Coming out, they go into this. Okay. So they started coming down like they did to the beginning, and then it built up to this great guitar solo into a dual guitar solo, and then it came down again back to where it started. So we've been on this roller coaster, right? With these dips and valleys, and getting up to these peaks where they plateau and then they zip back down to the valley again. It's nice. It's really nice. The way an instrumental should be done. Absolutely. I've said this before about instrumentals. They can be very tricky to pull off. Not so much from a playing standpoint or from a performance standpoint, but more from a songwriting standpoint. It's very easy to fall outside of the cube of songwriting. You have this, okay, if you do too much, it's showing off. If you don't do enough, it's boring. If you don't go far enough, it makes you wonder why. Is it laziness? If they go too far, is it, boisterous? There's this box that you have to fit into when it comes to instrumentals. You have this threshold. You go past it, it's too much. You don't go enough, and you fall out of the box from behind, and you're looked on as, mailing it in. So you have to work within these confines when it comes to writing and recording an instrumental. It sounds to me like they're doing a fine job. I don't have a gripe with anything they're doing. I know it's long. Okay. Is it long? Yes, we're at 6:23. Yeah, that feels about right. About 6.5 minutes. Yeah, that feels just about where we're at. And we got about another 1:10 to go. So this is going to turn out to be about a 7.5 minute long song. Yeah, that feels about right. It doesn't drag though. It doesn't feel like it's been 8 minutes or 9 minutes. It feels like it's been about 6.5 minutes. It feels accurate. So is it long? Yes. Is it dragging? No. They've created enough variety. They've done enough things to keep my interest, keep things going. Now the time isn't flying by, but it's accurate. It's very accurate. So that's good. Let's finish this out and we'll get to the review. That was short. Vibe from her. Still getting that Steve Vai vibe from her, and the Gary Hoy vibe from him. Interesting. Let me get my thoughts together. There's a couple things I need to think about before I give any kind of statements here. Let me get my thoughts together. I'll see you in the review, and we'll talk about it. Well, there you go, folks. That was D-Drive with Unkind Rain. This was a request from Aaron T. Rocks. Okay, I thought about it. I took everything into account. I rethought everything, and yeah, the score I came up with, it feels right, it sounds right. So here we go. Hopefully Aaron won't be too upset with the score I'm going to give it. On a scale of 1 to 10, I'm going to give that an 8.4. Yep, 8.4. I feel good about that score. Let me tell you why.
Why?
Okay. Couple of things I need to discuss. Number one, first and foremost, I'm going to say this one more time, and I'm not going to say it again. And listen, you are free to dispute me all you want, but guys, when the facts are staring you right in the face, it's kind of hard to dispute it. What we heard was not what we saw, okay? Were they playing live? It's very possible they were. As a matter of fact, I'd be more inclined to say that they were playing live to each other for the purpose of filming. However, what we heard was not what they were playing live. What we heard was studio. The fact that we heard at points 3 and even 4 guitars layered when there's only 2 guitar players, I think that pretty much sums it up right there, okay? I mean, it's painfully obvious this was a music video. I just don't want people getting the impression or thinking that what we heard was them playing live. No, it was not. You saw them playing live to each other, and I absolutely agree with that. But what you heard was post-production. What you heard was taking the studio track and overlaying it with what they were playing live. And folks, that's very, very, very easy to do. So all you need, honestly, is a click and a stopwatch. That's all you honestly need. So that's it. That's all I'm going to say on the subject, okay? Now, like I said, you're more than welcome to disagree with me if you want, but guys, when the facts are literally staring you in the face, it's pretty much undeniable. So anyway, what we heard. Now, that's all I'm going to say. I'm not going to talk about what we saw at all, because what we saw does not make one bit of difference on what we heard, because what we heard is totally different. What we heard was a really nice, very well done, I would dare say great instrumental. Some great usage of dynamics, some great usage of growth, as well as de-escalation. You heard them both several times. You heard a lot of scoop ups, you heard a lot of feel changing, going up, you know, the drive going up, it would plateau, and then it would come down again, come back down, and then it would go back up again, and then it would come back down again. And that was really well done. It kept the song from becoming stagnant. If we had done 7.5 minutes of a song at the exact same speed, the exact same tempo, with the exact same feel, the exact same energy, the exact same drive, the exact same intensity, this would have gotten old very quickly. You look at some of the great instrumentals that you hear throughout the course of the history of rock and metal. Guys, what do they all do? They all have variations, right? This song had plenty of variations for a 7.5 minute long instrumental song. Instrumentals can be very tricky. Like I said, you have to do enough that you don't come off as lazy, but you don't want to do so much that you come off as arrogant. You know what I mean? Or showing off or anything like that. So you have to kind of walk that line. Now you have a margin to work with. It's not like you're walking a razor line. You have some wiggle room, quite a bit of wiggle room, depending on how well known and how well respected you are within the instrumental music community. You know, if you're Steve Vai, you're going to be given a lot more leeway than, you know, Joe Nobody and the Never Will Be's, you know, playing an instrumental that no one's ever heard of and don't even knows who you are. So there is a certain amount of leeway that is given when you've established yourself. Now, I don't know how well established this band is. I've never heard of this band, but just because I haven't heard of them doesn't mean that they're not well known. I never heard of Baby Metal before. Look how well known they are. I never heard of Love Bites before. Look how well known they are. You know, there's a lot of bands that I have not heard of that are very well known, and I just haven't heard of them. But upon hearing them, I see why. Looking at these guys and looking at what they've done, I don't see any reason why these guys are not well known, other than the fact that they may just be an instrumental band. Instrumental bands that stick strictly to instrumental music, they do have a little bit of a harder time getting noticed, I guess, and becoming quote unquote well known and quote unquote famous. Like, Steve Vai is probably the most well-known instrumentalist and guitar virtuoso that you've heard of. He doesn't do vocals. He'll put little spoken word things here and there in his songs, but he doesn't actually sing. At least not that I know of. But he's very well known, very well respected. Would I say he's a mainstream guy? No, I would never say that. But I like him. I have a lot of respect for the guy, and I love his music. So that's just me personally. You know, is that the masses? Is that the general audience? No. Most people, there's a lot of people that haven't even heard of Steve Vai. So I get the feeling these guys are the same thing. I get the feeling these guys have a small following that is rabid and are really, you know, gung-ho about these guys. And I could see their numbers grow. I absolutely could. They're all very talented musicians from what I could hear. Both guitar players equally talented. The one guitar player reminds me a lot of Gary Hoy in his way of playing, and the other one reminds me of Steve Vai in the way that their approach is, their attack is, what they do while they're playing, effects that they use, their tone. Very similar in style, and I wonder if they're getting those tones from people that they admire. It's very possible, you know. Imitation is the most sincere form of flattery, and I absolutely believe that. And yeah, I can absolutely see that here. Drums and bass were locked in, man. They were absolutely locked in. The drummer had some great fills, some great feels, some great setup work too. Not overly relying on the cymbals, which I'm really glad to see. The bass player had some really nice melodic lines. Not too many. I'll be honest with you, I kind of wish he had a few more. I saw some spots where he could have, you know, come in and done some melodic lines, but we missed out. But when he did, it fit and it sounded really good. I did hear a change in tone with his attacks on the softer parts. Makes me wonder if he did like he did in the music video where he, you know, played up on the neck. Very, very easy thing to do to help change your tone and soften your attacks, more importantly. So I absolutely believe he probably did do that in studio. But listen, this was a great song. It was absolutely a great song. Some great solo work from both guitar players, especially when they would play in unison with those harmonized lines. Some really impressive stuff in there. That one place in the middle where I had to go back and listen to it again, that was tight. That was absolutely tight. So yeah, I got no problem giving this song a great score of 8.4. I feel that is the score that this song deserves, and that is where we're gonna stay. Unkind Rain, I couldn't help but notice the rain sound effect throughout the song. Yeah, if I'm being honest, I think it should have been used at the beginning and the ending, and that's it. But every time they came down, you heard it again, and it's like, okay, we get it. Little overused, but I mean, what are you gonna do? The song's called Unkind Rain, so I get it. May not be the biggest fan of it, but I get it. I just kind of wish they had kept it to being used at the very beginning of the song and the very end of the song. But what can you do? 8.4, final score, I have spoken. Well, that's going to do it for this edition of Reactions, Reviews, and Rants. Hope you all enjoyed the show. Hopefully I was able to entertain you. If I was able to put a smile on your face and brighten your day, I did my job, and I'm so glad I could do it. If you guys feel like joining the fan base, go ahead and click on that button down there. If you guys want to like the video, go ahead and like the video. If you guys want to ring the bell, go ahead and ring the bell. It honestly doesn't make any difference at all to me, but if you guys feel like doing these things, then by all means, feel free to do so. Well, that's going to do it for the night, folks. Thank you very much for watching, and as always, this is David Heretic signing off, reminding you to stay fabulous and support each other. Later. Peace.